Everyone understands a signal, a beacon of distress. It cuts through the static, a clear, desperate pattern that demands a response. We are conditioned to answer it, but what they never teach you is that you are likely broadcasting one, constantly. It seeps into every word you don't say, every glance that lingers a second too long, every laugh that's just a little too loud for the room. It's the silent frequency of need. It's the unspoken question in a text you've rewritten 3 times. It's the story you tell, not because it's true, but because it makes you sound interesting. It's the way you mirror someone's posture, their opinions, their life, hoping the reflection they see is good enough to keep. You think it's subtle. You believe your armor is seamless. But to a trained observer, it's a siren. It's the scent of fear in a predator's domain. And fear doesn't attract allies. It attracts predators, or it is dismissed as weakness. Your first task is to find that transmitter, and then dismantle it completely. This is not a tactic. It is the foundational pivot, the only one that matters. It is not about adopting an attitude. It is not about wearing aloofness like a cheap costume. That is a performance, and performances are exhausting. They are seen through. This is an internal restructuring. It is the deliberate, strategic construction of a state of completion. Consider your operational parameters. Until now, your core systems, your validation, your stability, your sense of purpose, have been outsourced. They were dependent on external servers, the approval of a mentor, the affection of a partner, the title on a door. Your entire psychological infrastructure was hosted on unstable foreign ground. It was vulnerable to attack, to failure, to sudden catastrophic loss. You were one system crash away from total shutdown. Completion is the process of bringing your core systems in-house. It is building your own server farm, behind your own firewalls, powered by your own source. It means running a diagnostic and seeing not a list of missing components, but a fully functional, self-sufficient entity. You become a closed loop. Your validation is an internal process. Your peace is a secured location. Your purpose is your operating system. You are no longer a client begging for bandwidth from the world. You are your own network. When you initiate this protocol, when you even truly begin the installation, the change in your output is not a minor adjustment. It is a total rewrite of your source code. You cease broadcasting the high-frequency, repeating pulse of need. You begin emitting the steady, low-frequency hum of presence. You are not sending out a ping, hoping for a reply to confirm you exist. You are a fixed point, a known coordinate. Your existence is not a question. It is a fact. And this signal, this is the most disarming, the most potent signal in any environment. People are fatigued by need. They are drained by emotional requisitions. They are subconsciously repelled by the gravitational pull of another's hunger. It is a weight, but completion, wholeness, it is neutral territory. It is stable ground. When you are complete, you do not make demands on another's energy reserves. You are a contained and separate system. You are not a mystery to be solved for their entertainment. You are a sovereign state with closed borders. You enter a room not to extract resources, but as a diplomatic presence. And in an economy of thieves and beggars, a sovereign is an event. They will not understand why they recalibrate around you. They will say you have presence or gravity. They will call you self-contained. But what their instincts are detecting is the absence of a transaction. There is no open hand. There is no plea in your silence. And in that vacuum of demand, they feel a pull. They are drawn to the stability of your architecture, not because you are offering them shelter, but because your foundations are unshakable. This is the bedrock. All other strategies are software applications that will crash without this hardware. You cannot simulate mass. You either have it, or you are orbiting someone who does. So your primary objective is not to initiate pursuit. Your primary objective is to become, by your very structural integrity, an immovable object, because you are no longer fleeing a void within your own perimeter. You have turned. You have secured the perimeter. You have filled the space with your own mission, your own code, your own unwavering sense of operational truth. The chase does not begin when you run. It begins the moment you become the unshakable ground upon which everything else must stand. You have initiated the new protocol. You are broadcasting completion, not need. The internal systems are coming online. But now, a critical phase begins. This is where most operations fail. They understand the theory, but they cannot execute the maneuver. The old programming is too strong. The instinct to reach out, to confirm, to push, is a reflex burned into the circuitry by years of faulty conditioning. You will feel it. The urge to send the follow-up message, to make the friendly check-in, to linger just a moment too long in their vicinity, hoping for a spark. This is the old signal, trying to reassert itself. It is the ghost in the machine. You must exercise it, not with negotiation, but with a clean, absolute severance of the impulse. This is the ritual of the full stop. It is not a pause. A pause is a breath before you speak again. It is a temporary ceasefire, negotiated from a place of shared expectation. The full stop is different. It is strategic, willful, and total radio silence on a specific frequency. You are not ignoring. You are not playing a game of silence to provoke a reaction. That is just another form of pursuit, a manipulation by absence. The full stop is a legitimate withdrawal of forces from a theater of operations where you no longer have strategic interest. You are not storming the beach. You are recalling the fleet. The message is not, "I am waiting." The message is, "I am gone." This means no more initiating contact, no more double text, no more casual thinking of you messages that are probes disguised as kindness, no more orchestrating accidental meetings, no more scanning their digital perimeter for intel. You cease all forward operations. You stand down completely. The immediate effect, internally, will feel like a system shock. You have cut a primary feedback loop. Your old operating system used their attention, their replies, their likes, their glance, as a validation input. You are now running on internal validation. There will be lag. There will be alerts warning of system failure. This is the detox. This is the withdrawal from an external dependency. The silence will be deafening. It will feel like failure. It will feel like you are ceding ground, losing momentum, letting them forget you. That feeling is the illusion. It is the addiction screaming as its supply is cut. Because externally you are not creating an absence. You are creating a vacuum. And nature, strategy, human psychology, they all abhor a vacuum. When your energy, your attention, your pursuit suddenly vanishes from their field, it leaves an empty space. That space does not stay empty. It begins to pull. They are conditioned to your signal. When it goes silent, their own systems ping the anomaly. Where did the signal go? They may not consciously acknowledge it, but subconsciously. The architecture of their attention has just lost a load-bearing wall. They will feel the shift in pressure. This is not about them. This is the critical point. The full stop must be enacted for you, not as a tactic for them. It is the physical, practical manifestation of your completion. It is you proving to your own system that you are serious, that your time, your focus, your energy are valuable commodities, and you are no longer investing them in a venture with a negative return. You are recalling your assets. Every time the impulse to break the stop fires, you must see it for what it is, a system test, a probe from the old compromise code. Your response is to reroute that energy. Do not send that text. Instead, input that energy into your own development. Use that intention to send a command to your own infrastructure. Train, study, build, create. The energy is not destroyed, it is converted, transmuted from a plea for external validation into fuel for internal sovereignty. The full stop is your first true demonstration of power. Pursuit is easy, it is instinctual, it is a reaction anyone can chase. The full stop is a conscious, disciplined action. It is the application of a will stronger than instinct. It announces that you are governed by a higher law than the fear of missing out. You are governed by the respect for your own resources. They will not understand what has happened. They will only know that the background noise of your pursuit has ceased, and the resulting quiet is disconcerting. It is interesting. It demands an explanation. And to get that explanation, they will have to reinitiate contact on your new silent frequency. Do not wait for them. Become so invested in your own silence that you forget their noise. The chase does not resume when you start moving. It begins the moment you become ute. Rise still. You have enacted the full stop. The broadcast of need is terminated. The pursuit has been recalled. Now you exist in a state of operational silence. This silence is your new environment. And here is the critical miscalculation most make. They believe silence is empty. They think it is nothing, a void, a lack of data. They are wrong. In the realm of human dynamics, silence is not a vacuum. It is a medium, and what you fill it with determines everything. If you are internally anxious, desperate, counting the seconds until they notice your absence, then your silence is weak. It is thin. It is a passive-aggressive plea. It transmits a frantic, high-pitched hum that sensitive instruments can easily detect. It says, "I'm waiting," but if you have achieved completion, if the full stop is an authentic reflection of your inner state, then your silence undergoes a molecular transformation. It becomes dense. It becomes potent. It is no longer the absence of a signal. It is the presence of a new one. This is the signal of sovereignty. Consider a fortress. When it is under siege, launching arrows, shouting taunts, pouring boiling oil, it is communicating. It is announcing its fear, its desperation, its engagement with the threat. But a fortress that is not under siege, that simply stands, immovable, its gates closed, its banners still, it communicates something far more powerful. It does not say, "I am fighting you." It says, "You are not even a considered threat." Its silence is not weakness. It is the absolute confidence of unassailable walls. Your silence now is that fortress. You are not ignoring the world. You have simply withdrawn to your own citadel. And from within those walls, you are not idle. You are building. You are training. You are planning. The energy is not directed outward in pursuit. It is directed inward, fortifying your position. This activity, silent, internal industry, changes the quality of your absence. It makes it heavy with purpose. This is what they will sense. They will not hear words, but they will feel the shift in gravity. Before, your communication, your pursuit, was a series of explicit data packets. "I like you, notice me, validate this." Now you are transmitting an implicit ambient signal. The signal has one core message: my own approval is the only one that matters. When you stop explaining yourself, you are stating that your actions are self-evident. When you stop justifying your decisions, you are announcing that your judgment is final. When you stop seeking permission to exist as you are declaring autonomy. This signal is your loudest announcement, louder than any profession of love, any promise of loyalty, any boast of achievement. Because those can be faked, this cannot. This kind of silence can only be sustained by a deep structural integrity. It is the silence of a mountain, not of a mouse hiding in a wall. They will be forced to contend with this new signal. Your previous pursuit provided them with a simple, flattering narrative. You were an orbiting satellite, and they were the planet. Your silence destroys that narrative. Now they are faced with a celestial body that has broken orbit and is holding a fixed, independent position in their sky. They must now ask themselves the questions you once asked about them. What are they thinking? What are they doing? Why have they stopped? Your silence forces them to break their own. It makes them initiate. It makes them invest. To solve the mystery of your stillness, they must move. Your calm becomes the turbulence in their atmosphere. Do not mistake this for a game. It is the natural law of power. Attention flows from the lower energy state to the higher energy state. Anxiety seeks calm. Chaos seeks order. Need seeks company. Completion. By becoming the still, silent, complete point, you become the natural destination for all the scattered, seeking energy around you. You are not pulling it. You are simply the place where it wishes to settle. So, inhabit your silence. Do not rush to fill it. Let it deepen. Let it become so profound that anyone who wishes to reach you must first cross the quiet, formidable moat of your self-possession. The most powerful statement you will ever make is the one you never utter aloud. The full stop is enacted. Your sovereignty is broadcast not by words, but by the strategic quiet that now surrounds you. But this quiet must not be mistaken for inactivity. This is the point of catastrophic failure for most. They achieve the silence, but inside the fortress, they are waiting, listening for a sound from outside the walls. Their entire operational focus is still external, pointed at the empty field where the enemy or the ally used to be. This is not sovereignty. This is a siege mentality. You have traded active pursuit for passive anticipation. The energy loop is still the same, it is just running and idle. True power requires a decisive redirect. This is phase 4, the investment in the inner kingdom. Every unit of energy, every joule of thought, every volt of focus, every calorie of effort that you once spent on the external target must now be located, seized, and rerouted. This is not a suggestion, it is a mandatory transfer of assets. You are not abandoning a market, you are recalling all capital to rebuild and fortify your home economy. Audit your expenditures. The mental bandwidth spent decoding their messages, rerouted to decoding a new skill, a language of your own choosing. The emotional energy spent crafting your appearance for their hypothetical gaze, rerouted to crafting a physique, a presence that serves your own standards of capability. The time spent in speculative planning about us, rerouted into actionable planning for your own legacy. The hope invested in their potential, converted into concrete investment in your own. This is the alchemy. You are not destroying the energy of pursuit. You are transmuting its base element. You are taking the raw, volatile ore of need for them and refining it into the forged steel of development of self. Your mission is no longer to orbit. Your mission is to build a world so compelling, so fortified, so rich with the resources of your own making, that the question of who is chasing whom becomes irrelevant. You are no longer a scout looking for a home. You are an architect laying a foundation that will outlast you. When you do this, when you truly, relentlessly invest in your inner kingdom, a secondary effect takes hold. Your absence acquires substance. Before, when you cease pursuit, your absence was an empty space, a missing piece in their puzzle. Now, your absence is a positive presence somewhere else. People can feel when someone is building. They can sense purpose the way animals sense a coming storm. There is a palpable energy to it. Your silence is no longer just quiet. It is the quiet of a factory humming through the night, producing something unseen but formidable. They will not know the specifics. They will only know that you are gone, and that your gone feels different. It doesn't feel like hiding. It feels like deployment. It feels like you have been assigned to a more important theater. And this ignites a powerful, often destructive, human impulse, the fear of missing out on something valuable. When they suspect, not because you've told them, but because the quality of your silence tells them, that you are improving, succeeding, becoming more while they remain static, their curiosity transforms. It is no longer just where did they go? It becomes what do they know? That I don't? What are they building that's better than what's here? You make your attention scarce by making it expensive. You make it expensive by proving, through tangible, silent growth, that it is a precious commodity you are fully capable of investing in yourself. You are your own primary venture. You are showing a higher return on investment than any external relationship could offer. This is the ultimate demonstration of the signal of sovereignty. It is one thing to be silent. It is another to be silent because you are profoundly, productively busy with matters of your own empire. Your energy is not withheld. It is fully, gloriously employed elsewhere. Do not wait in the quiet. Become the source of the quiet's power. Fill your own halls with such consequential work that the echoes of your activity make the outside world seem faint and unimportant. The most magnetic force in any universe is a center of gravity that is fully occupied with its own creation. The energy has been redirected. Your inner kingdom is under active construction. This changes your position on the field. You are no longer a scout or a soldier. You have become terrain, fixed, strategic, valuable. This brings us to the central, governing principle of all high-stakes engagement. The frame. Every interaction, every relationship exists within a frame, a context, an unspoken narrative that defines who is the subject and who is the object, who is the prize and who is the participant. For years, perhaps, you have been operating within their frame. You were the participant. Your goal was to win a place, to earn a spot, to be selected. You were auditioning. You were a contender in a competition they were judging. In that frame, all power resides with them. They set the rules. They define the win condition. Your value is contingent on their verdict, your previous pursuit, your broadcast of need, as the behavior of a participant. It reinforced their frame. You were saying, through action, you are the prize, and I am trying to win you. The investment in the inner kingdom is the first step in shattering that frame. But it is not enough to simply build your own. You must actively, consciously establish a new one. This is phase 5, the unshakable frame. You must become the prize, not by announcing it, not by demanding it, but by embodying the objective empirical qualities of what a prize is. A prize is rare. It is not easily obtained. It does not negotiate its own worth. A prize is self-contained. Its value is intrinsic, not conferred by the act of winning it. A prize is the culmination of a pursuit. It is the end of the journey, not the beginning. Look at your behavior. Does it reflect the behavior of a prize? A prize does not explain itself. A prize does not chase the winner. A prize does not bargain. A prize exists in its full polished state, and the competition forms around it. Your silence, your industry, your completion, these are the attributes of a prize. Your previous need, your anxiety, your pursuit, these are the attributes of a participant. To become the prize, you must internalize a single unbreakable command. You are the standard. You are not trying to meet theirs. You are the living benchmark against which all else is measured. Your time is valuable because you treat it as a non-renewable resource invested in your kingdom. Your attention is a luxury because you do not scatter it on trivialities. Your peace is non-negotiable because you defend its borders. When you interact, you are not seeking to enter their world. You are allowing them temporary access to yours. The subtext of every conversation, every meeting, is no longer do I fit here. It becomes, do you meet the standard to be here? This is not arrogance. Arrogance is loud and secure and needs to be seen. This is quiet assurance. It is the calm of a vault that knows the value of what it contains. You do not sell, you exhibit, you do not convince, you select. When this frame is truly established within you, the entire dynamic is forced to reverse. They can no longer sit in judgment, because you are no longer presenting yourself for judgment. You have moved to the judge's bench, not to judge them, but to assess their compatibility with your operating environment. Your silence is not an absence of communication. It is the quiet hum of an evaluation in process. They will feel this shift. It is unnerving. It is compelling. People are instinctively drawn into the gravity of a strong frame. They will either rebel against it, exposing their own incompatibility, or they will subconsciously begin to audition for a place within it. They will start to demonstrate their value, their stability, their worth. They will begin to pursue your approval because you are no longer begging for theirs. The chase is not about motion. It is about orientation. You have reoriented the entire landscape so that you are the north on everyone's compass. They are not chasing a person who is running. They are recalibrating their own direction to find the fixed true point that you now represent. Do not compete. Become the competition. The winner is not the one who runs the fastest. It is the one for whom the race is named. The infrastructure is complete. The full stop, the sovereign signal, the investment in the inner kingdom, the establishment of the unshakable frame. These are not tactics. They are the sequential installation of a new operating system. a system that runs on a different law of physics than the one you previously inhabited. That old world operated on Newtonian rules of pursuit. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Push, and you are pushed. Against, chase, and you trigger flight. This new system, your system, operates on the law of reverse gravity. In the old model, you were the smaller body caught in the orbit of a brighter, more massive star. Your energy was spent on maintaining that orbit, on adjusting your trajectory to avoid being cast out into the cold. Your entire existence was defined by that pull. You were, in effect, spinning around a cause. The completion of your inner kingdom changed your mass. The silent, deliberate investment in your own core increased your density. You are no longer scattered matter. You have collapsed into a singularity of your own making. You have become, through a conscious act of will and discipline, a star. Not a desperate, flaring one seeking attention, but a steady, luminous fusion engine, powered by self-sustaining reactions. And this is the final, immutable truth. Stars do not orbit. They are orbited. When you achieve this state, when you are truly self-lit, self-fueled, and moving on the trajectory of your own purpose, you cease to be a participant in the gravitational dance. You become the source of the gravity. Your presence, your energy, your very existence creates a field. This field does not pull with the desperate, clutching force of need. That kind of gravity is weak, localized, and repels over distance. This field pulls with the calm, inevitable, astronomical force of presence. It is the gravity of a completed object. This is why the chase reverses. It is not a trick. It is not a manipulation of perception. It is a direct, causal result of you altering your fundamental nature. You stopped being a planet hoping a star would keep you warm. You became the sun. And now, everything that requires your light, your warmth, your energy for its own growth and stability must naturally, inexorably find its way into your orbit. The physics demand it. They are not chasing. A ghost. They are not chasing a memory of your pursuit. They are orienting themselves to a new, powerful source of energy that was not there before. Your absence is not an empty space. It is the sudden, glaring absence of a light they had grown accustomed to using for their own navigation. They are left in the dark, and the only visible source of illumination is the one you have now become, shining somewhere else, on your own path. When you are complete, you offer the one thing no one else can truly give, the reflection of their own potential. In your peace, they see their own chaos. In your purpose, they see their own drift. In your wholeness, they feel the edges of their own lack. You become a living mirror, not of their vanity, but of their possibility. And that is a magnet more powerful than any compliment, any gift, any promise. People will cross oceans to find a mirror that shows them who they could be. The pursuit that now begins is of a different quality. It is not the pursuit of possession. It is the pursuit of alignment. It is the pursuit of resonance. They are not trying to catch you. They are trying to sync with your frequency. They are drawn to the stability of your signal in a world of noise. You do not need to run. You do not need to hide. You need only to continue being what you have built, a self-sufficient, self-defined, self-illuminated center of gravity. Maintain your course, tend your reactions, shine with a consistent intensity of truth. The universe itself will handle the trajectories of everything else. The chase you were trying to start could never begin while you were running. It could only ever begin the moment you became the destination.